Coach, we'll get started here. Why don't you just give us your opening statement, and then we'll take a couple questions.
Obviously, interesting game. Didn't necessarily go exactly the way we wanted to in the first half. Felt like Ball State's offense did a nice job, particularly running the football, which we knew they got the leading rusher in the league going into the game, so it's not a surprise that they can run the ball. Didn't feel like we defend the run as well as we can or would have liked the first half. Offensively, very frustrated on missed opportunities. We score early, we drop another touchdown, and then we get down there against, we're down on the 20, and we have a couple penalties and a sack. We end up fourth and forever. So 3 drives that we felt like we should have got points. We only got points in 1 drive. Felt a lot like the Central Michigan first half, where both offenses kind of were in control and the defenses were just trying to hang on and get some stops and find ways to get off the field. Obviously, stop before the half I thought was key. Holding the field goal did put us down 17-7, but felt a lot better than 21-7. Second half, obviously, first play is huge. Rowe makes a huge play, turns a 20-yard gain into a 70-yard touchdown by making a guy miss and outrun a couple guys. And then after that, just kind of hanging in there. Defense obviously playing better, finding ways to get stops. It still wasn't easy in the second half to get stops, but we found ways to get stops in the second half, hold them to that 1 field goal. And then offense felt like every time we took the field, we could score. Obviously, their defensive ends were a problem throughout the night, as we know. They're very good players and very athletic, kind of what we thought going in. And got us a couple times on sacks that stalled drives where I felt like we were going to score. And then obviously you had a nice drive at the end when we had to have it. And then defense comes up with a nice stop. Huge stop by Gearing on 3rd and 2. Getting off a block and hitting the kid in the backfield. They decide to punt it with 3 timeouts, and when I think we had 30 yards rushing, everybody thinks it's such a bad choice by them, but when you've only given up 30 yards rushing, you got 3 timeouts and you got 2:50 left, and you can pin them deep. You might be catching a punt somewhere around midfield. You're 1 first down away from maybe kicking a field goal and winning. But obviously our offense did a nice job at that point, getting 2 straight first downs and not giving them that chance. So awesome way to close out the season. Obviously would have loved for the Akron kid to catch a ball in the end zone, and we'd be playing in a game this Friday against Western Michigan. Would be pretty cool, but being MAC East co-champs is pretty cool. Being 6-2 in the MAC. If you'd asked me before the year what's your MAC record, if I would have taken 4-4 for sure. I would have felt like we win 4 MAC games. If we get 5, it would be an incredible year. To get to 6 and in the variety we did, obviously, is a huge plus for our program. And then just play the game as well as we did down the stretch and make as many strides that we felt like we could make this year. I said preseason 67% or 75% of the MAC games I'd like to be physically in, and we're in 100% of them, which to me was a little shocking that we could physically go toe-to-toe with everybody in our league, because 2 years ago we couldn't go toe-to-toe with anybody in our league. So we've come a long way in a short time, and very proud of the kids, very proud of the coaches. Kind of a fitting way to end, like we said, Tuesday. Just being down, it's just like one more hurdle to climb for the 16 Redhawks. I told them at halftime, it's kind of fitting, guys. If we're going to do it, might as well be down 17-7 at half when everybody expects it to be easy because everybody's not very bright. You're going to beat them. Like, they got really good players, and everybody went to the game, realized right away they got really good players, and they got a good football team. I know their record wasn't what it should be, but they're the team this year. Ball State's a team this year, lost 5 games they could have won, and we're in so many close games against good teams, and it was kind of the story of their season, losing a close one to us. They lost a bunch of close ones and played really good football. So very proud of everyone, and excited that the season's still going, excited that we have a chance to go to first bowl game since 10, chance to keep practicing, chance to keep getting better, and mostly excited for the seniors that, 6 weeks ago were 5-36 in their career, and we're pretty close to leaving Miami and with not a whole lot to show for it. And then for those guys to be part of history, I mean, that's something that they're going to have for the rest of their life. Like, they did something, and I'm sure somebody else will do it, but we'll still be the first team that ever went from 0-6 to 6-6, and be conference co-champs for those kids is pretty damn special. Obviously, won more conference games. Well, I think we doubled their conference win total the last 6 weeks. They had 3 conference wins, I think, going into the last 6 weeks of their lives, and I think we doubled their conference win total in the last 6 weeks, and be conference co-champs and go to bowl. Pretty special for those kids, and says a lot about who those kids are.
What did you have a message for Gus at halftime? Because obviously, while the offense was moving, it seemed to be a little jittery back there, maybe a little nervous. Did you have a talk with Gus at halftime?
Yeah,
at all?
no, I didn't. I certainly can micromanage everything on the football field, as my players and coaches can attest that at times I micromanage the kickers pregame, but Gus, I pretty much let play from the time he's taken over. I've said so few words. Occasionally I'll say something about first half he missed, he threw the ball at the boundary, the ball should have been going to the field, but I in 6 games he played during the game, not during practice, I talked to him playing, but during the game I kind of let him play. It's kind of who he is. He will do some things at times that can frustrate you as a coach, but he has a natural feel and a natural competitiveness that the more you bog down on him mentally, the less natural he's going to play. So really, I didn't say anything to him. We talked about some of the things we wanted to do in the second half, but we didn't really change much. There wasn't a big adjustment on either side of the ball at halftime. Our defense had to play with, they had to turn up the intensity because their skill guys are good, and we weren't tackling. Inside, we were getting run over. Outside, we were missing tackles. They were making us miss. So we knew we had to ratchet up the intensity. Like, we got to bring it. You got to bring everything you got because these kids are really good football players, particularly their skill guys. So then offense, we felt like we should have scored a bunch of points in the first half, and we're frustrated. Just let's execute and not shoot ourselves in the foot.
On the topic of Gus Ragland, so, give him another year of development. What do you think of his NFL chances?
That's a heck of a question for a kid that's played 6 college games. I would say we're a long ways away. I would say this for certainly, he's not really an NFL-style quarterback. If you watch NFL games, you watch how Gus plays. He's not, I don't know, but I know he's a 7th-ranked passer in the country right now, passing efficiency, which is pretty amazing. He has 167 efficiency. So the amazing thing, Tuesday, really, we played a style of game that's not, I told Gus after the game, we played basically 4 quarters of football of drop-back passing against Ball State, which is not how we'd been playing. It's just kind of what presented itself. We felt like the drop-back game was the best way to go. Supposedly Gus, out of high school, doesn't throw the ball good enough. He's certainly not a drop-back passer, and he goes 25 for 36 for 380 and 3 touchdowns. So I said it's kind of interesting that you did exactly what supposedly you can't do against Ball State. You can't be a drop-back guy. You can be a zone read, power read guy. You certainly can be a play-action guy off the spread run game, which is basically what we've been. And I'm not saying we're going to become a drop-back team with Gus Ragland, but basically he threw 40 drop-back passes and he had a monster game. So he's, once again, kind of proving that once you put him on the field, given the opportunity, he can produce in any type of game. And it was weird because it wasn't. When I watched the game on Thanksgiving, I was like, God, this is everything we didn't think Gus had any chance to do, and he's doing it at a crazy high level. So, pretty impressive performance.
You get bowl eligible, and obviously it means a lot to get there the way you did, and to win the MAC East, as you said. What's it mean to the program, though, to have that extra time? You get the extra practice, you get the extra work, and to get these seniors a bowl game.
Yeah, for us right now, like we've talked before, when we've had some more mild accomplishments. For us, these accomplishments for our program right now are humongous. Like, it's just, we talk about back-to-back wins and that was a big accomplishment. Just for us right now, it means more than a lot of other teams coming from where we've come. One starts internally with the belief. It just keeps adding to the belief. Now we're 6 in. We 2 in, the belief was going up. 3 in, the belief's going up. 4, beat a good Central Michigan team, it's going up. But now you go to 6. Now you're going to bowl. Now our kids understand next year the goal to get to bowls now seems very much more realistic and attainable. The goal to win a league, like, we haven't talked about winning a league here. We've talked about building a championship program, but we certainly haven't talked about winning a league. Now, going in the offseason, our kids are going to be talking about winning the league. We're just co-champs. Why would that not be a goal of Miami football all of a sudden, out of nowhere? Like 6 weeks ago, we were talking about conference championships. And then, obviously, externally recruiting changes the game. We no longer have to sell that we're going to become a championship team. We just were co-champs. We were a championship team this year. We are going to a bowl game. We set national history with 6 wins. So there's a lot of things that now you don't have to sell that. Before we were saying, hey, we're gonna. Now it's obviously very much realistic where the future's heading for Miami football. Then, as you mentioned, for the seniors, it just means everything. Their careers aren't over, you know, and they made history. They're part of something special. They know they're part of the turnaround, you know, just moving forward. But we could have won 4 games, and they could have felt good about being part of the turnaround. But they're co-champs, and they're going to bowl game, and they're going to get to experience that. And then the last piece is the extra bowl practices, which it's weird to me, and everybody talks about. It's like the good movie that everybody likes just because they're supposed to like it. Like, I've been part of bowl practices before. It was like, well, it's an extra spring ball. Bowl practices look nothing like spring ball. Now, we will certainly let our young guys play, and for them, it's invaluable. But we have limited bodies, young guys. It's not like we go scrimmage for an hour with our young guys. We probably go scrimmage for 10 minutes with our young guys because we have 1 deep everywhere, you know, and we probably don't even have 5 young O-linemen that can scrimmage right now. The extra work is good, but for our upperclassmen, it's going to be more walk through. Like, I had bowl practice at Notre Dame, and I went to spring practice at Notre Dame. They didn't look the same. You certainly want the extra time, and the young guys will get to run our O&D again these next couple of weeks, which will be invaluable for them. But I would say it's not as big a deal as we like to make. All the fans like, you get 15 spring practices. I said, no, spring practices are pretty physical and violent. I'm not sure that's what these bowl practices. I know for the old guys it isn't. We're going to get them healthy, and we're going to be playing fast. So, but just to have this time together and experience going to bowl, just like the Ball State game, and again, the win is obviously the biggest thing, but the second biggest thing is we played with expectations on us. It's the first time that anybody in our current program has played a game where the expectations were you either lose and you turn your crap in on Monday, or you win, you get to go to bowl game. If you win, you minimally can be conference co-champs, and maybe you can be conference champs, and you're favored. And everybody's expecting you to win. So for our kids to feel that, particularly for 10 days, was good. It was hard, but it was good, like, because we're going to have to play games in the future where the expectations is that we win. And you win and something good happens, and to come through with a victory and learn how to gut out a 21-20 really hard-fought victory when there was something at stake. Because up till now, just a win was a win here, you know. And it was Mardi Gras. Ooh, we won a game, you know. Where now there was in the fourth quarter, I promise you, through our kids' minds, we're thinking about if we don't get this done, we're down 20-14, our season's over, and we could be going to bowl. We could be, you know. So for them to feel that anxiety, which all kids feel and all coaches feel, very good for everybody involved.
Yeah, so you touched on it, especially at your time at Notre Dame. You know, this is probably one of the more awkward periods of college football, and the regular season ends, and you just kind of have to wait to play your bowl game. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, that's a good question, dude. You know how much I've thought about that the last 4 days? You know, like, it's just, what's the schedule here? Especially you don't know not only who you're playing, so you can't, like, we're just so used to getting immersed in the next opponent. Let's just start watching tape, and that's easy. That's what we know. We don't even have a next opponent. It's not like you're going to guess. 2, we don't even know the date we're playing. It looks like we're going to play anywhere from the 17th to the 26th. It's kind of the range. I'm not saying we couldn't play out of that range. But so obviously you're talking a 9-day window. So how do you lead up to, like, and then you got recruiting to tie in. And like I said, I should have paid more attention, asked more questions when I was at Notre Dame because I was an assistant. They either said, you're going recruiting or we're practicing. And okay, we're going recruiting. I went recruiting. We're practicing. So I didn't really delve into the timing of it all. I'm trying to figure that out right now. We got to do that by the end of the day, even regardless, because we still won't know till probably this weekend when we're playing. So we're going to have plan A for if we're playing towards the front end of the bowl season, and plan B if we're playing towards the back end of the bowl season. So, and I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I'm not sure there is. I mean, you play the 17th or 26th. I don't know how you make a schedule right now. I mean, it's just. It's a 10-day window of when you could be playing and where you could be playing. So.
Anything else, got anything? All right, Coach, I think we're good.
All right, thank you very much.